And you ain't black.
What up? What up? What up? What up? What's happening? What's happening? How's everybody doing tonight? What's happening with you, JP? Got my man JP in the house.
What's going on, man? I just be cracking up at your intro all the time, man. I be music first, and then the anime just pop up at the end. I'm like, dang, that's real. I was just vibing to the music.
Hey, man.
Real stuff like that. You like,
I know, just throw people off. Like, where'd that come from, man? Damn, I was bobbing and weaving. Like, what's going on?
man,
Oh, snap. How you feeling today, man? You good? Good day today?
All right, man. It's always a good thing to be here with you, brother.
Appreciate that, man. The feeling is mutual. Absolutely. Who we got in the house? All right. You guys already know. First one in the chat, you will get a shout out. First one in the chat, I will shout you out. Like the video, guys. Like the video. You know what I'm saying? Hit the subscribe button. All that jazz. All right. We need you to hit the notification bell. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, share the video, all that stuff. All right. Because we are coming at you guys full effect. Who we got up in here? We have Miss Kathy. How you doing, Miss Kathy? How you doing? Appreciate you. Uh-oh, Miss Lori. Okay. Lori says, what's happening, JP?
How you doing, Lori?
All right, Kathy there. Okay, Kathy, I got you. She said, hey, JP. All right. We got Testamenta in the house. I think I know who that is. Okay, yeah. Okay, I got some folks in here. Okay. We got Kenny in the house.
Oh, what's going on, Trey? What's up with you, man? Trey was on. Trey has a lot of episodes with me on my platform, man.
Oh, dope.
And he has a YouTube also, man. Y'all go check that out. Making Millionaires.
Dope.
Trey,
yeah, and you know, and yeah, man, we might JP and I was just talking like in the back chat that you know, we might drop the link. So if you guys, you know what I'm saying, if you guys feeling up to it and you want to speak on some of the things we talk about tonight, just let me know. I'll drop the link.
Oh yeah, Trey's definitely one of them guys, man. Like, that's somebody that can really bring some positivity and some good things to this panel too.
All right, Trey, where you at, man? Where you at? Appreciate it.
I put him on the spot though.
He said appreciate the shout out, bro.
No problem, big dog.
Okay, we got somebody else in here you might be familiar with.
Oh yeah, what's going on, Kelfie?
Appreciate you guys.
That's good.
All right, man. Bringing the crowd. I appreciate that. Bernard, what's happening, Bernard? How are you? All right. Appreciate you guys. Let's see. Okay. So yeah. Okay, guys. So look, y'all saw the thumbnail. Y'all already know we over here cooking up some stuff over here, and I just had to, you know, I was just sitting down and I was thinking, you know, you hear our society today really on men about not being vulnerable enough to express themselves, not being emotional, internalizing, you know, keeping things to themselves. And I was just thinking, you know, this entire civilization that we've built, men, blood, sweat, and tears, um, that has to account for something. Like it has to account for something. I mean, yeah, granted, in a lot of cases, we have to do this, to for in order for our civilization to thrive and for the protection of women and children. Yeah, we have to do that, but there's something deeper than that. And it led me to ask: Is this a way men express themselves, express their emotions, release all this pent up frustration or angst or whatever you want to call it? But we're going to get to that. That's going to be the meat of the discussion. But I definitely wanted to oops, definitely want to go over a couple other things that's kind of been on my mind lately. And I know my man JP is definitely the right man for this discussion. So I'm just gonna jump straight into it. All right, JP, kind of like what I just said before, man. In this society, it's kind of as if men are feeling more disaffected, disgruntled, and essentially just aimlessly searching for purpose today. So a lot of men are just lack purpose and meaning. In your opinion, how can a man find his purpose?
I mean, we was already deemed our purpose from the beginning of the time. We are providers and protectors. I mean, I other than a woman's wants of what she wants, I mean, but our purpose is to lead. No matter that's the only purpose of a man, to lead and build. And that's not just building with a family, that's building. We are the architects of the world because women don't want to build shit. Like they're not gonna do that work. Like they can say that we don't need a man, but when it's time to fix a car, build some shit, like
Mm-hmm.
we have our hands is a big thing, and
Mm-hmm.
it can get us a lot of places. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
that's our purpose, and you should never think anything other than that, bro. Like any man who says I gotta find my purpose, you know from the start, you're a provider, you're a protector, you're a warrior, you're a leader. So from
So
there,
go ahead.
how
I'm sorry.
you and exhibit all those things in a role of being who you're going to be. But
Mm-hmm.
no matter what, you gotta have those foundations in your mind to know that that's a purpose regardless. Those characteristics of what you have, that's regardless. How can
Mm-hmm.
you build from that? But you got to be a protector, a provider, and a warrior. You got to be that. That's your
A, pr-
purpose of a man.
a protector and provider and a warrior. So what do you think it has men disaffected today? Why do you think men are so disgruntled and just kind of just drifting amongst the world and really can't find themselves? What is it that have men feeling so depleted in modern day society today, in your opinion?
Because right now the society, the woman preaches, I want you to open up, I want you to be emotional, I want you to confide in me, I want you to do this and this. But the world is so messy these days. When a man does do that for a woman sometimes, and it ends wrong, it ends badly between them. She used that. Women like to use men's vulnerability as a weapon, so
Mm-hmm.
men are afraid to open up. Men are emotional.
Mm.
They are. They have emotions. People don't realize when the first thing when you tell a woman or someone how you feel, the insult is stop being emotional.
So
That should cut.
you think it redounds in a man's benefit? You think it redounds in a man's benefit to be emotional? What I mean more so is uh, for a man to respond to virtually any situation in an emotional capacity. Do you think that helps?
Emotional is emotions. When you show multiple emotions, you become emotional. But how could you exhibit the way that you feel without exhibiting emotions? But emotional is an insult. that is supposed to be to a man an insult, to make you feel like you being soft or you're complaining. But a man has to show you yes, I am emotional, because when I'm mad, what is mad? An emotion. Yes, I'm sad. What's sad? An emotion. I'm happy. But you don't, when I'm happy and go lucky, you're not gonna say, damn, you're real emotional today, because you're happy as hell. You only use the word and the term you emotional when you don't like me addressing something. So you say, oh, you mad, you emotional, because I'm calling you out. Oh, is you don't have it both ways.
So I think that, I don't know, man. I think that I think a way men can find meaning and purpose is through the adoption of responsibility, taking on the burden of the world. You know, sort of the I'm trying to remember this. I know I'm about to butcher it, but uh, uh, bearing your cross for lack of a better word, carrying your cross. You know what I'm saying? I think suffering and adversity is good for men, and I think a lot of men today are just they shy away from confronting their demons or going through the fire, per se. And I just don't see a lot of I don't see a lot of men that are encouraged to adopt their responsibility, because you know one of the main focal points of that responsibility was family. And now today it seems like with the progressive uh the generation of families, um I think a lot of men are just they're left kind of just at a loss on some level, because they don't really have that. They don't have the motive, excuse me, the desire to go out and build and create their value and become something. And I don't know, I think it all comes back down to family, and you know, men who don't have families, wives to protect, and like you said, provide and all these things. I just think it is leading to what we see happening today with a lot of men. They're angry. They're like festering a lot of anger, and it's acting out in some instances violently.
A man that's doing what he's supposed to do and providing, a single man that is really single about his business and out in this world on a career path, if he's in his career or he is actively working to where he is a true bachelor, and he's not roommating or living with someone by cohabiting, because a lot of men now are cohabiting because they want to split bills.
Mm.
Then that's just real. And women complain about 50-50, but these women these days are allowing that because they want so much to have a man to say they got a man. So it's 50-50. But with the man right now that's doing his thing by himself, he should never be angry. He should never be feeling some type of way, because no matter what, when you are shining your light and you are doing what you're doing, the real women that you're supposed to have will generate that energy. But the man, this world fakes it till you make it so much. They're flashy, and they are now putting out a flashy image. So what they're receiving is women who want to be just stable, and they're looking for just somebody to be able to finance them. That's the problem. Men are not.
So in essence, it sounds like these women are settling.
A lot of women are settling, but a lot of men are not as put together as they're portraying, because of a lot of men, a lot of humans now have gotten to the point of seeing social media, and media is whatever the eyes see, that's what you believe, and you don't see action. You care about what you see first, and you believe what you see. So a lot of men just say it. One thing I always say about a chameleon can only be able to camouflage for the amount of time that he's comfortable. But as soon as you make that chameleon uncomfortable, he begins to show his colors more. So let's just say I have a lizard or a chameleon sitting on my wall outside, it's gonna immediately, when it sees me, it's gonna change the colors. So it will camouflage. But if I sit there and say, and I stand there and be like, yeah, I see you. I see you right there. I'm not moving. Eventually, if I stand there too long and make that chimera and that lizard feel uncomfortable, you will see the colors change.
Yeah. True colors.
Fake for so long until it becomes exhausting.
Okay. I think that's a perfect segue into my next question. My next question is, so why do you think some men think being less assertive is virtuous?
Being less assertive on the woman's
Very
side or the man's
docile, kind of subservient,
side.
just
Us being
not.
docile, us.
Well, yeah, well, just men in general. Like whenever you, okay, for instance, some men will just settle for where they are in life, whether it be, just a dead end job, or, not working on evolving himself and cultivating his purpose, just more so complacent and comfortable where he is. And which is, I'm not saying nothing wrong with that, but um not really willing to be assertive to get what he wants, to pursue his goal, his purpose. Why do you think it is that men are being more assertive, and even in regards
Less
to how they
assertive
deal
or
with
more?
women as well?
Less assertive, right?
Yeah, less assertive. Yep.
Okay. First of all, the first thing is because he does not have a father figure. That's first of all.
Mm,
So he has not watched a man be a provider and a strong provider unless he watched granddaddy. But granddaddy is old fashioned. So you got to see your father, and depending on what generation you are growing up in, the generation that your father's in, you have to look to your father to be that provider and see the guy that's assertive that you see going out and doing it every day. You see a man providing for his family. You see a man providing for your mama and your siblings. So that's first off, he does not see that. So that's why he does not have the drive. And that means he's being raised by a single mother, that your father now is every so often in the picture. He comes around, but you are fully being raised by that mother all the time. And you see your mother being working all the time, breaking her back to support you. So now they always say be the man of the house. But at 14, are you old enough to understand what being the man of the house is?
mhm.
You just think what you feel because your mama can't show you what a man is, but the term be the man of the house. Who expects a 14-year-old to know what the hell that means?
That's a lot to take on
He just thinks
at that
I gotta go
age.
get a job or I gotta
Yeah.
go get money so my mama don't have to suffer. I want to help my mom. I'm tired of seeing my mama cry.
Mm-hmm.
That's the second
Mm-hmm.
mistake. Then the third one is now you probably find women, you run into a whole bunch of women with insecurities and women who having issues on finding a man. So now they just accept your bullshit because they can't get a man, but they're only comfortable with having you around and saying you're a man. You have no type of motivation to push you to be better.
Mm.
And again, you have to look at men who's not assertive. They have not had real men to show them. They are now looking at social media and celebrities looking at thinking Jay-Z and Beyonce's relationship goals, but then now
Mm-hmm.
think Bootsy, NBA Youngboy, all
Mm-hmm.
these rappers, that's the
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle y'all want. Get money, the Migos, get
Yeah.
money, go to the
Mm-hmm.
strip club, have multiple baby mamas. Like those are low, insecure men who think that money is just gonna buy, for you to be on bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. I
They don't have
totally.
to drive to get the money because they think it's all gonna come fast. Fast money don't stay with you.
Yeah. And back to what you were saying as far as just essentially families are. I mean, roles. Gender roles are modeled. Families are modeled. And I think in particular with the rise of fatherless homes, there's not any male archetype that men can follow or to emulate. Yeah, we have our celebrity culture, unfortunately, that a lot of young men are emulating, and but we see how that ends. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, and another thing I noticed too was that typically when young men don't have fathers, they seek out fatherhood in the streets. They find it in that
The big homies,
camaraderie. Yeah, in that camaraderie,
OG,
exactly. Hmm.
who they think big homie.
Right, who they think is who they think is the big homie. Exactly, exactly. Hold up, real quick. Okay, so here we go. Here's another curveball for you, brother. Um, so this is my opinion, but you can second it if you agree. But in my opinion, I believe black people today sell trauma. Um, we see it in our entertainment, our media, and our politics. My question is, why do black Americans have a culture that puts toxicity on a pedestal?
Because you want people to feel sorry for you. You want people to
Mm,
feel sorry for your bullshit that you're never gonna try to change. You want them to accept your bullshit rather than changing it. You want
but
somebody to feel sorry for you and tell them a story that I grew up this fucked up way and I did this. So you're using the excuse. Yes, you did, but how can you change your ways? You don't want to better yourself. You want to stay the same so people can try, and you want people to accept so you don't have to go through the growing pains to change. People don't want to change because they don't want to do anything different, because it's some people in this world who don't want to do any work to do anything.
it requires work. Yeah.
They just want it to be handed to them. You see that in our government right now. People are
Mhm.
panicking right now and begging for this to become blue because they're going to give us something, but not understanding that they're going to make you really, really stress for that, because they're going to
Solely dependent too.
they're gonna, but see, they're gonna keep telling you we're gonna give you this, keep giving you this, keep doing it, but they ain't telling you how you're gonna get it. Because when they say we're gonna give it to you, then you realize it was stipulations. I was talking to
Hmm.
today about, we have things like the George Floyd bill or any one of these bills that have our martyr names on it, or these well-known deaths or whatever name on the bill, but our culture don't even, they're cheering that the bill will be passed and have no idea that the bill has nothing to do with what the name is. And it's surprising.
Yeah, I know.
Like, yes, George Floyd bill, and writing that bill, it has everything to do with the LGBTQ community. Like, I'm
Right.
like, that shit had nothing to do with police brutality and people cheering that. And I'm like, wait a minute,
Exactly.
are you serious? Are we really continuing to, like, the Democrats is your prime example of
Hmm.
toxic, will continue to slap you around, will continue to beat on you, but then come back and say, well, I got a check for you, baby. You know I love you.
You know what that remind me of, right? Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. They, every time that you want to take a step, they be like, well, no, here you go. Let me buy you a new purse. The Democrats buy see, they think if someone goes Republican, they were bought. No, 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 no. Every celebrity is pushing the agenda of a Democrat. And what
Yep.
you don't realize, that is being bought and paid for. But see, they
Hmm.
don't realize it because they want whoever says that something racist, that's what you want to believe because you want to listen to it. But you don't pay attention to what's going on. But
Yep. Yep.
we're trauma bonding, and because you got to sell the
Trauma
trauma
bonding.
so you can trauma bond.
Hmm.
So now both of y'all, if one understand the bullshit that they can do, I can sell you some bullshit that I am, so we can bond on that.
So let's get real. So what is it about this trauma bonding that we are so fixated with? What is this fixation that black people in general have with trauma? What is it? Where does it come from?
All we know is pain and hurt.
Mm.
Everything that we do that becomes successful and great, it's on the back of us being frustrated and hurt, and feel like we got to put our all into it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the music. Tell everybody that you come from the streets. Now, it all started with you grabbing these individual rappers and stuff like that off the street, and you're
Mm-hmm.
changing their families' lives. It
Mm-hmm.
started that way, but now it's whose videos on TikTok are more toxic that we can get them to be an influencer
Mm.
that they can make it seem like they came from the mud or that they trying to change. They know people ain't even trying to really change their family livelihood no more like that, because a lot of people ain't really as broke and as in poverty as we used to.
Let me just address this real quick. Lauren said, "What about just people in general? We all have trauma." Absolutely, Lauren. I totally agree.
True.
Um, I made this example a while back, a few lives ago, but the analogy I usually respond to in this question is, if let's say you know you had an accident, right, and you were shot, God forbid, and you were shot a couple times, right? One in the leg, one in the arm, and the other one is in your spleen. So if you were to go to the emergency department, they're going to triage the source. They're going to triage the most urgent issue. And right now, I think what needs to be triaged is the Black community. I think it
Mhm.
needs to be a focus on that, because it's going to extrapolate out into the rest of other ethnic groups, other cultures, and you seeing it happen now. I'm not denying it's not spilling over into other cultures, but this subculture has pre-existed in the Black America for so long, and I think so many people have turned a blind eye to it because it's so intricate that kind of what we're doing tonight is not really it's not rehashed, because anytime it is, we do try to sit down and address it. People want to divert it to extrapolate into other groups, when we need to kind of spend some time on this to figure out what it is. And that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but that's one of the reasons why I say we should kind of focus. And listen, by no means am I saying that other groups don't experience trauma. We all do. I mean, I think that's part of the human experience. But just in regards to Black America, um, I think what you're seeing is an exponential amount of toxicity that's being glorified, and we
So
need to call attention to it.
so when you say things like that, the non-independent thinkers that have common sense would hear that, but they would think, oh, he's saying we need to spend special attention on the Black community. We need to give them pity because it's so much going on like that. So we need to
Right.
care for them
Right.
instead of hearing that. But you're not
Yep.
realizing a lot of that focus is on the Black, because who's marketable? Who does they make money off? We are
Yep.
now, we're not Black, we're called the culture, we're called urban, and
Mhm.
everybody wants it. So you're saying out we're spreading like wildfire to the other cultures. You're right, because other cultures want to be us. They
Yeah,
want to
exactly.
doing because they think what we're doing is marketable.
Hmm.
Nobody outside of the Black were in the Black race want to be Black. Like
Exactly.
things like they want to be a part of Black, but when it is time to be Black, it is very, very hard,
No.
because now, no, now not saying that we are oppressed and
Right.
not saying that we have been, prejudiced, being prejudiced against. Like, by no means we're not oppressed, but we do get stereotyped and we do get prejudged. We
Hmm.
do. It's so. The thing about it, depending on which your scenery is or what you're trying to get into, being Black or being in touch, in tune with the culture will get you a leg up.
Mm.
But being that, if you have to use your Black card to get through to something, to be able to get an opportunity, you need to double check that opportunity and realize that's not the place you need to be. If I have
Hmm.
to use my Black card and
Right.
not just be me of who I am, what is being
Hmm.
Black? What is being culture? If I
Mm.
have to use it, if you're gonna tell me I'm not Black enough, like this gotta be, and even with movie roles in Hollywood. How the fuck you gonna tell me like I'm not black enough?
You ain't black.
Yeah, what's not being black enough? Like
Joe Biden. Hey, Joe Biden. Joe Biden told the whole black community that if they didn't vote for him, they ain't black.
and nobody felt no issue with that. Nobody felt
Nobody ain't bad eye.
they felt no problem with that, bro. Like none at all.
No,
It's hurtful.
no problem.
It's hurtful, like because we think everything funny.
Mm-hmm.
We think everything funny.
It's all a game
for entertainment, and we laugh it off. And it's just like
do you think it's like a sign of like arrested development? It's an indication.
A lot of things we just self-consciously don't realize we normalized, and we just suppressed to where we just got it to where it's just like it's normal. It is what it is. But the thing about it, we like for somebody to fake their feelings to us and tell us something good rather than somebody be straightforward to our face. If black people be straightforward to each other, they find lies within it to just be like, oh, you still lying? Like, no, I'm being honest. Like, no, you lying, no, you can't. But with white people, when they be straightforward, it's racism.
It's racism.
Hard. But when they lie so good that you be like, yeah, that's the truth. Our culture love beautiful lies.
Yep.
We love
because it's comfort food. That's what it is. Those sweet lies are comfort. It's comfort food, as opposed to the unflattering realities of what we have today, and that's why we're supposed to turn a blind eye to it, just whistle past the grave as if it's not happening.
And a lot of women, they do use their intuition and things like that, but then women go through so much when it comes to a man that you really, if they do use their intuition and a man knows that they're being you're being lied to, they're being lied to, like we would treat them like, oh, you crazy. And women go through a lot of mental, because they got too much going on with them, emotional, physically. Women, it's a lot on them. So when we can play on, if a man can play on their emotions and their insecurities, it becomes heavy.
That's what I always said, man. I get it that today there seems to be more, I don't know, this gender war thing going on, but I really take issue more so with the whole feminist movement and how it has entirely hijacked a lot of our women into believing that they are superior than men. They don't need men. It's really an ideology that's really kind of supplanted itself into our community. But one of the things I've always said, man, was I think both black men and black women should crawl across the broken glass and meet at the table together, because we both have a very enriched, tumultuous struggle that we can't do alone, that we should be doing together.
That's true.
And I hear what you're saying as far as the trauma bonding. And you know what? Hold up. And let me actually, this is the next question here. Hold up.
Let me touch that.
Yeah, go ahead. You good?
The thing about it is this. Those is men right now in this society. There's one thing that's turning themselves off from women right now, because now being straightforward is the thing. Even if a woman is serious or she's playing, when you approach a woman, she gonna say, "Hey, I don't think you enough that you gonna pay all my bills." We will see females sharing memes that says, "If you ain't paying all my bills, get out my inbox." But a man will sit there and that turn his stomach, and they complain about it like, "Oh man, these women gold diggers," and things like that. But then I look at that and I say, well, if they never say anything, don't you know that that's something that a man is striving to do? You just mad because they keep saying it out loud. How can something bother you that you're supposed to be doing? Like, why do you get so mad that women they know that.
Mm-hmm.
They know that triggers you. But as a man, you should know that is my goddamn job.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is, and they don't talk enough. It's all about back and forth, back and forth. When one hurt, we gotta try to up the other one. It's no communication. People don't dialogue. But
Mm-hmm.
a man allows a woman to win the emotional part is we have emotions, but again, you when you allow the woman to overly bear the conversation or the situation
Dominated.
with emotion and no logic, then you will fall victim every time.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
You
And
will.
ultimately, women are looking for, I mean, like you said, they're very hypergamous. They want to find that security and that provision from the man. So if they have to somehow um, maintain that position, they're gonna, if they are with a man that's not
Mhm.
in his rightful position as the leader, they're gonna ultimately resent that man, and those relationships are suboptimal. They never work. Um, I mean, look, there are outliers, of course, but um, in general, women want leaders, and that's just how it's been since the dawn of time.
It has been. You're right.
All right, so here we go. Well, let me see here. If all of us take sex completely out of the equation and see if we get along first and be their true friendship before being in a romantic relationship. I don't know, Miss Lauren. I mean, maybe not, but all right, JP, here we go. All right. So with everything we just said, as far as the current state of affairs regarding the genders in the black community, is men and women not really seeing eye to eye today. Do you think, just as black people as a whole,
Mhm.
is it a viable path for us to move together and identify as a collective?
Let's repeat that one more time, brother.
Do you think it's a viable path forward for blacks to identify as a collective? Groupthink.
I mean, we we have to at some point. Like, I think the world thinks we have to forever be kumbaya to where, like, I think circumstances with any race can really determine if y'all stick together. Like, bro, let me tell y'all, like I said the other day, like, if we don't, when one of my episodes with the my partner Cool, the ugly from Ugly Magazine, we were talking about that. Excuse me. Like, if the black community has no worries, you always got money in your pocket, and you are just living, bro, that's the happiest. That's the happiest culture that you would ever find. Like, you will be, y'all buy drinks, y'all go out, y'all look, hey man, I got the tab. No, I got the tab. No, I got the tab.
Hmm.
Hey man, drinks
Hmm.
on me. When black folks are on top and they are good and have none, that is the best environment to be around. It's only when the black people are struggling. Like, and I think even with the white community, I think that's human nature. When
Yeah.
you are going through some things, your collective bond, bro, unless you have people that can look out for you, that say, hey, oh, you in the bind? I got you. You know, we don't have enough of that. And being a collective, we need to have more of that with each other. But just always just thinking that we all got to get along all the time, that's impossible. None of
Hmm.
the other races get along all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we have this unrealistic expectation of what our togetherness is? School in like being taught history, like, I think we took it wrong, that we just thought that our ancestors, we see African pride, dancers and
Hmm.
all this thing. We just see them with their culture, and we just think that they're all just always happy together. Like,
We romanticize it. Yep.
yeah, like, I'm trying to figure out, people keep saying we need to get back to being together. It's like, bro, nobody, no race is gonna be that close. What it
Mm-hmm.
is when it comes to war, when it comes to someone infiltrating, that is when, as a race, you stick together. That's no matter how much I hate you, no matter how much we beef,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, when something has to be done, we got to put pride aside and bygones be bygones. And then after that is done, we good. That's
Sounds kind of reminiscent to when Americans collectively stood against communism once upon a time.
I mean,
The
bruh,
threat of communism.
the human nature has pride and ego.
Mm-hmm.
You got to learn how to put that to the side. For anything to work, pride and ego, we get offended by the smallest thing. Your tone, like you, why did you do that? Like you, I think you moving funny. Like we just get offended. Why did you say it like that? You know, like we get offended by so much stupid shit, man. But even with a man, like problem solving is a big thing, that as one of our logic and problem solving, having logic to solve a problem is our biggest strength. But a lot of men don't exhibit it
All
because
right.
because the world wants you to show your feelings
Mm-hmm. We're gonna
all
get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. All right. Here we go. Here's the next question right here for you. Now, this is pretty much, I think you can apply this to all cultures, but again, it's it's really a lot more prominent in black in Black America. But let me ask you. So, like I said earlier, we glorify this thug culture, this criminal uh, sort of lifestyle. How can we feasibly remove the no snitching policy in the black community?
First of all, I think we're gonna have to figure out where the line is at snitching. I think
Mm.
right now, is it you when you have no contact with law enforcement, like you see law enforcement, you look the other way. If you say one word after they say you had the right to remain silent, that can be classified as snitching. Like
Woo. So
if
it's a broad generation. Excuse me, it's a
I've
broad
never
generalization of it.
understood, as I got older, snitching has too much gray in it. So I think I may be a snitch. I don't know, like, because I'm a civilian, and as a child, seeing a child get killed, like I ain't gonna front. Like I think pretty much, like if I know, like yeah, he went that way. Like I mean, that's bro, like children, babies, man, no, like sexual assault, pedophiles, killing kids, like, nah. Seeing a woman be raped, like, and like me being assaulted, like, no, but like, I mean, at the end of the day, even if y'all fighting and she did it first, like, bruh, y'all really need to. There's no reason like man and women should be putting hands on each other. Like, if that's a situation where the police come, I'm like, boy, lock both of their ass up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a man, a woman should never push you that hard to want to hit a woman, because we can overbear them. We can overbear them, and no woman should ever in her right mind feel that it's okay to slap a man. I always tell a woman, boy, the first time you beat me, if I gotta beat you, I don't need you. The first time you put your hands on me, you done.
I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that we have some of these figures in our family. I mean, myself, for example, people who've done time in jail, or are still sort of engaged in that lifestyle. So I don't know, it's almost like a tacit code of ethics that you just, and it's like ingrained in our psyche that, hey, if you know somebody that might have done something, to keep quiet, because it's gonna come out that you said something, you're gonna be classified as a snitch.
But
And I just think that mentality going forward, in a sense, is harboring criminals, and it's sort of fostering this environment that they can do whatever they want and have no consequences.
okay, so this is the thing. The issue is, again, it's too much gray in that, right?
Right,
When they
right.
say let the police do their job, But you're saying if you seen it, I'm not saying nothing, let them do their job. Our black folks are so backwards that you would say let them do their job when you know you seen it. But when they say don't talk to the police, don't let them do their job, when you really mean that saying is, why the hell y'all playing First 48 on the internet trying to solve a crime? That is where the snitching is. When you're watching our culture argue back and forth about what they think happened, that's when they say let the police do their job. Like you're saying if he fully comes, our culture is so backwards. It's telling me if he directly comes at me, I'm supposed to say no, I don't know anything. But I can start talking, just running my mouth out loud. But if anybody hears me, I didn't tell them directly. But if they hear me, it's because I'm running my mouth out
Run
loud.
his mouth. Yep.
Talking to the police. I'm not directly inboxing the police. I'm not directly commenting under, but they're arguing under the police article. How backwards is that? Like what you saying? No
it is backwards.
That is the detriment of our society, that you're really saying no snitching, that you really would glorify these people just getting killed, like normalizing, but you want to march and complain when there's black on. They can't take us serious because they see our patterns. We only are outraged when it's another race, a white person killing us. But bro, we will kill each other all day.
And a
Like
heartbeat.
I've never, it makes no sense. Like growing up, this is how I realized that I've definitely separated myself. Just growing up, like you always hear, man, keep a scrap on you. Hey, when you going over in their hood, either A, don't go, or boy, you better be strapped up when you're going there. So now they have trained our minds. I have to have protection against my own. Okay. Always I have to be ready to kill or protect myself from my own. But then on the flip side, they be like, hey man, where we going at? We going on that other side of town with the white folk, but hey, boy, make sure you ain't got nothing in your car. Hey, boy, don't take that gun with you. Take that gun over there. No white folks don't play. Like now we go butt naked in the white community. We come, we respect them. Oh no, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, but we will disrespect our own so fast.
Yeah.
I've never in my life, 400 years. They keep saying 400 years. It's 400 years, and the counting the years have not stopped. We keep saying 400 years, it has not stopped.
Slaves in the mind.
It has not stopped. And people, when they start realizing that they are now, when they say we are going to voluntarily go back into slavery, they don't really mean the physical labor. They are now going to mentally enslave us. So every step that they want us to move, they are going to mentally make us do it.
Yep. Hey man, I totally agree. Listen, and I hear what you're saying. It is pretty arbitrary when it comes to this whole no snitching policy. I look at it like this, and I believe it was Corey that told me, and I actually resonated with it. He said, if you are part of the whatever crime or whatever that's taking place, if you're part of it, and all of y'all get caught, you should keep your mouth closed. That's pretty much how. I don't know. I guess in that particular situation, because you are engaging in the same crime, you should not say anything if you were to get caught. Okay. But my thing is the innocent bystanders, that the victims or the families, people who may know of someone and that know somebody that's harboring that, and basically just protecting this criminal from facing his consequences.
But what's so sad though? They're scared to snitch, because if they snitch, they're afraid of their own kind retaliating because you snitch.
Yep.
Bro, you're still telling me nothing that is still self-destruction in our own kind. Like, are you afraid? You're not afraid that if you snitch that the Ku Klux Klan gonna come get you. You are really afraid that your own kind is gonna come.
Yep.
Because you decided that you feel bad that somebody had to lose their life. Killing, ending lives should never be a good thing. Now, robbing is not good either. But if people are hurting right now and don't know how to control themselves now. But if you try to just get a quick come up and rob, bro, get what you most people now, they want to keep their life. Take what you need to take and go. Just go. Just go. You don't need
Right.
to take a life. And it's bad, even with that, it's bad, but we understand stealing and robbing because at the end of the day, it's all about the monetary gain from it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna do that, get what you need to get and go. Don't end someone's life. It's not good. But at the end of the day, right now in this world, it's so bad that you can't even control yourself, that you have to put your hands on somebody else's stuff. And even with that, if somebody knows what's going on. Yes, you need that. Nobody can take no losses out here. What makes you think I could have took that loss that they took from me? You know what I'm saying? If you know, let me know who know. You know what I'm saying? I should not be normalized to take that loss. It should not be normalized that I'm okay that my best friend just was shot in front of me by my ops, that I know that that family that I slept over every weekend, every day. That was my brother I grew up with. His mama cooked me some food. I know who killed them, but I can't tell her. That's wrong. That's wrong. And you shouldn't even feel like you need to retaliate. You should still feel like, hey, because at the end of the day, now you're about to end your life by you dying on a dummy mission, or you losing your freedom because you succeed just to take an eye for an eye.
Right. What good is it the profit to gain the world
and lose your soul?
And lose your soul. And to lose your soul, man. Well, that brings us down to the meat of the discussion. And you guys already know what the thumbnail is. And before we get into this last little segment here, guys, like the video. I'm seeing some new faces here. I know a couple of people in here JP brought with them. So guys, like the video, please go subscribe, check, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. And JP, what's your snap? Dang, man, I keep forgetting to get your Spotify so I can drop it in a link for people.
You talking about Instagram?
Where you want the people to follow you?
Oh, my Instagram is FWM _ podcast. And
podcast.
And I'm just really starting on the TikTok. So
you
gotta bear with me on the TikTok, but it's JPeezy, JPEEZY 0132. Is at or at FWM _ podcast on TikTok, because you follow me on TikTok now anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if I followed you on Instagram, but I make sure I do that before the night is out. But guys, go check him out, man. He on fire tonight, man. Y'all gotta hear some of his shows. Y'all only get
Apple Podcast, FWM podcast on Apple and Spotify too. Every Tuesday.
JP going, he be going off, y'all. Y'all definitely got to check him out. Definitely worth a listen to. But all right, man, let's move on to the last question. Well, question statement, however you want to take it. Oops, hold up. Here we go. Like the video, guys. Like the video. If you have not hit that like button, hit that like button. Or we got beef. We got eternal beef. All right. Nobody want no beef with me. All right. Because ain't nobody gonna snitch neither. I'm just playing. I'm just talking.
Hit him with the slap effects, brother.
You said hit him with the courtesy slap. All right.
Slap effect. Man.
There it is. All right. Hold on.
Nah, it's really beef now.
Nah, it's real beef.
Real beef now.
All right. So JP, in today's society, men are encouraged to be more sensitive, emotional, vulnerable, express your feelings, things like that. However, we know men are more maintain their masculine frame, who are more logic based, logical problem solvers. They have a tendency of creating things and for the advancement of our society today. I mean, we have the iPhone, we have computers, we have the airplane, we have so many inventions today that 95% 95% of all inventions in the world were built and designed by men. And my my contention is that I don't think the best course of action is for men to emote and express their emotions the way women would. We should not have to subscribe to this idea that we should be expressing ourselves the way society the way society encourage women to do. So now you see it's more so they're asking men to be more emotional and let out their feelings and things like that. And my opinion, I don't think it's smart. I don't think it's the right way to go. I think men that if we are to be expressive and if we have moments, of sadness, and I understand it happens to all of us, it's important for men to have at least a rat pack, a group of men, close friends that they can express those feelings to if necessary. But in the grand scheme of things, I see that men, we get things done. So, in your opinion, do you think that men express their emotions through problem solving?
We are action driven. Real men are action driven, results driven. Actually, my bad. Um, as men, we expect women to notice the completion of something, the shit getting done. That's why we expect them to do things because we only know it getting done, it getting solved. When they come with the problem, they always tell us don't come with them with the problem, come with a solution. But there has never been a woman come with the
Hold up.
solution.
My bad, JP. Let me just address this real quick. Walter, you said women might have made as many inventions as men if they had the opportunity. Actually, Walter, in case you didn't know, back in the 1800s, there were wealthy millionaire women who were very affluent. Also, if you're familiar with Madame Curie, she invented she pioneered the research for radioactivity. So there were opportunities for women to do it. As you see today, women find it more beneficial to fall in line with their feminine role because of the choices they make today in job fields. Women aren't working in dangerous jobs. Women aren't digging the ditches. Women aren't doing the things or building the buildings, maintaining the infrastructure. Even with given a choice, women choose not to go into these fields. All right. So I just want to throw that out there. My bad, man.
And what people don't realize is women who get those opportunities and women who are high value women who go out there and do what they do, they're doing that because they have to do it because they're alone. But every woman
Right.
has a plan that I'm going to do it for only a certain amount of time.
Exactly.
I find my knight in shining armor.
Yep.
And what frustrates them is when they have to continue doing it by
Yep.
themselves because
Yep.
they don't want to do it for a long period of time. No woman wants to keep wanting to do things independently.
Yep.
They want to bask in their feminine ways. However, it's hard to trust a man to just be strong because they've been so disappointed and so much. But a man is result driven. Like men show emotion. That's how you know how we feel when you piss us off. We tell you, hey, when you come with the problem, women will not say it. But when they come to you with the problem, really you should be hearing is, how can you fix this?
Yep.
She's really asking you, telling you there's a problem. She's just not saying out loud, how can you help me fix this?
Mm-hmm.
Women want to, when they don't want to ask about anything they really believe, and it's true. If a man knows you, understands you emotionally, physically, and stuff like that, vibe and energy wise, he should know when something's bothering you, something's wrong, something's up. But they just take that out of control, that a man should always just know, like, hey, she's acting different. Which, if we take the time to pay attention, we will, because I do that. I pay attention all the time. I know when something's different. That's man or woman. Like, I can tell when there's a difference in anybody that I spend a lot of time with. Like, that's man or woman, that's homeboy, girlfriend, wife, or anything that I've ever done in my whole life. Like, if you are spending a lot of time with me, I have to know you. I have to
Mm-hmm.
know all ins and outs. And really, you don't have to tell me because I'm gonna figure it out because I'm a good listener. I
Yeah.
would let somebody ramble all night long and never say a thing because most people want to just vent. And they don't want you to interrupt and give them advice. Some people just want to vent. And if you listen long enough, they're going to tell you. If you listen long enough and you give them the green light to talk freely, all you have to do is listen. They will tell you everything. A woman will tell you everything that she's looking for.
Yeah.
You're looking for bold-faced words, whether just listening. Pay attention to her body language when certain things she does speak about. Those are certain things that she does want you to notice. I would like this. I would do that. She would tell you a rundown or whatever, whatever. Pay attention to the things that catch your ears. Certain things are going to get your antennas up, and she may not even put emphasis in them, but you got to realize if your spirit gives you something that she says and it stays stuck in your head, remember that for some reason it's going to circle back. If it's maybe she's not, because they don't directly want to come to you and tell you, hey, I want this.
Yep.
They're going
Women,
to
yeah, women are indirect communicators. Men are
exactly,
more
but they
direct.
want
Yep.
you to be direct.
Yep.
They want you to 100% be direct. It's so hard for them to be direct. It's so hard until they're mad, and then it's a direct insult. And the way that you giving me the truth that you giving me, you're hurt behind it, and it's like you've been holding this for a while, sweetheart. So I'm glad you're telling me this now. Now I know this how you felt, but I'm trying to figure out why you didn't tell me before. You're so mad because your women words like to hurt and cut.
Oh
They
yeah, they got
and so they want to chop your nuts off. Like
oh yeah.
they want to hit you in your
Go
stomach.
straight for the ball. Go
But if
straight for the kahunas,
but
man.
if you do that to them, you a female for that. And it's funny, I tell men all the time that the only way that they would know that is because they know that the shit that they do. So if I can't do it, why does it feel like you can do it when so you just feel like that's a woman's trait that's good? You should not be accountable knowing that you shouldn't say that. And if I can cut just like you, it should never be to the point where I can't do it because I'm a man. That just says now I have to take your verbal abuse and lashing.
And you know it's so crazy. Statistically, men suffer more verbal and psychological abuse than women do. Unfortunately, it's just that a lot of it goes unreported because again we're men. We have this idea that we're supposed to take it, and it's not like she's physically assaulting us or anything like that. But psychological abuse, I would argue, lasts a lot more longer than any physical abuse. But I'm not advocating either or. I'm just pointing that out. Yet we have more women in Congress, driving semis, running businesses. Many such opportunities were not always available. One woman ran the marathon, and one of the judges tried to tackle her because it was thought of as a male sport. Women's sports are paid significantly less than men on the sports arena. That's because nobody watches it. I'm
Exactly.
not saying that there were not some women that succeeded, but they were discouraged. No, 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 no. They took polls on this stuff back in the day. These women were happy to be caretakers of their homes. Listen, just like women do not vote as a block today with regards to their political candidates, women there was anti-suffragists. There was an anti-suffrage movement. There were women who were against the suffrage movement because they believed this movement would lead to where we are today, where women have to take on these masculine job career fields. And go
So
ahead.
let me ask you this: is Walter like? So is he with his responses? Like, is he really kind of advocating for the women, or are you kind of really trying to combat the things you're saying? Because I'm trying to figure out if that's a man or a woman.
Walter, we're gonna drop the link if you want to come
It's,
up and try to
it's three
explain.
women on there. So with the man keep giving responses like that, it shows me that you were raised by a lot of women and you love those women, your grandma, your mother, your auntie.
Yeah.
With that thumbnail, it looks like that. So I understand where you're coming from. what you're doing, my brother, is you're now responding in an emotional way that women
Yeah.
tell you not to do. They're going to. Because if you're arguing back and forth with a man, we can use logic and understand where you're coming from, because we're not wrong at what, and you're combating with very, it's so surface. It's things that we know, but there's a reason why it's there. But if you combat a woman with that, it's like that's a womanly response of which she would come at with us. So she's gonna call you soft. She's gonna say that's an emotional response. Because now, and we know that is, but you're advocating for them. You're doing that thing, but in our minds now, it's like, but that was so sissy. You know what I'm saying? So you're saying with the businesses and stuff like that, I understand that. You're right. But on a again, we repeating when your first comment that you made, women want to do that to get in that power position only for a while to be able to stand on the head. But she does not want to stand there for too long. She's gonna get exhausted.
Yep.
And even these independent women right now talking shit about how men don't want, they're talking shit like this every day because they're getting exhausted. They're like, hey, men, can y'all please step up? We're tired.
Yep.
We're tired.
Yep.
It's so and it's indirect.
Tired of the persona. Yep.
Crying out is by insults instead of just being real. Like, hey guys, what is it gonna take for y'all to kind of man up? What do we need to do? Where do we stand in this? What can we do to help y'all man up quicker? Because insults is not going to get it. But that's if one of those indirect shots that women do, and indirect that they're not being straight up with us to try to get what they need. If women come straight forward and tell us what they need most of the time and just take the yes or the no, a lot of things will get quicker.
Yes, I know, right?
Commented before that said a lot of that stuff is time consuming and exhausting. It really is. A woman will put us through a triathlon on the first initial boom. He said marathon, I said a triathlon, but they will put us in the initial courting phase that will tire you completely the hell out. And when they finally start to they really start to see like, okay, well, maybe this man he's spending a lot of time, he's investing a lot of time. Maybe I should give him a chance. And by that time, he has ran so much and bumped his head so much trying, he becomes exhausted. And then they say, oh, a man will get you. He will spend so much time to get you. And once he gets you, he just forgets. So he just changed. No, that man is exhausted.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, this feminist ideology really has completely tricked women. It's completely bamboozled them. And you know, I know I'll go over this ad nauseum, but this ideology is it's evil. It's
an indoctrination.
It is an indoctrination. I just wish more women would be able to recognize that, or even the women who have recognized that speak up more about that. And actually,
they are.
Yeah, they're coming out, man. But those women are getting shamed for coming out. They get shamed.
Now they just had something, just another on The View. They were talking about they're mad that they say now white women are going voting Republican. It's like now they're mad at white women that white women are not voting Democrat. It's like, no, the problem was y'all didn't realize the initial white women that were in the Democrat that started this feminist movement only was to get y'all to soften up y'all men, to be able to, the white women that they put in that way to start that feminist group, they were put there. They never believed that.
All right, let's see what Mr.
women are Republican based and conservative because at the end of the day, they know that they still go by values of a man leading.
Yep, the patriarchy.
The white women of old, bro, like they always make up and say that the white man hid education in the books from the black. No, he hid them from everybody but himself and his other count of fellow white men. His white women didn't read either. His
Yeah,
white
that's what it's so funny that the progenitors of the whole feminist movement were liberal, radical, extremist white women, and somehow or another black women aligned with the movement, but these women who started the movement stayed with their husbands. They stayed with their families
because they knew that when they didn't read, how could they get knowledge? They had to trust the white man to tell them everything. So they trusted that even if the white man was telling them something wrong, they grew up thinking, I have to listen to him because he is the head. They don't mind. That's why you call them blondes, because they know nothing. They only know what they're told by who? By that white man. That's the thing. So that's their original roots of, again, that's where they're supposed to be. How can you get mad that they're not helping you vote Democrat? They are now seeing like, ooh, if we being feminists, white women don't want to work. They like to stay home, raise kids, wear yoga pants, and do Pilates and yoga and stay home.
Right.
Take kids to games and soccer games. That's what white
Yeah,
women
they want to rest. They want to rest in their feminine. Let me read here what Walter said. He said, "I had a father figure in my life, and this is not an argument. However, trust me, I am not soft by any stretch of the imagination. I did 2 tours of Vietnam, and pushing my buttons is not something one would wish to do. However, as this podcast started, it was concerning men and their feelings, and as such, I responded in kind." Well, I don't think you responded in kind because you tried to put forth the notion that women were oppressed when in all actuality there's plenty of there's plenty of research and you can go dive into this yourself independently. I would suggest that shows women chose to be caretakers of their home. A lot of women did not align with the feminist movement or the original suffrage movement. In fact, the suffrage movement consisted of 200 men and 100 women. So even in that movement alone, men was facilitating. So I just think that, I don't know, I just think it's sort of a fallacy to push this idea that women were oppressed. In my view, both men and women were oppressed. We all toiled together.
So and just reading that, like, and I guess because you're speaking to my response, and the response was not calling you so. It was, we said we look at that type of response and say that's so. You know what I'm saying? We don't know you as a person. We just said if a woman heard that, or if another man is listening to how that just went of the which you spewed out on 3 straight messages of combating that, you're going back and forth like we said women are getting they don't have any opportunity. Like, you are spewing women oppression. Like, the histories make it seem like women had to fight for equal rights and this, that, and the other. That's what your comments are saying. That is you, because you said you did a tour in Vietnam. So now that speaks a whole bunch of the condition of how the past generation, what is that, X or Z? What's before Z?
Generation X. Oh,
Hey,
excuse me, millennials, and
before us.
before Generation X, Generation X.
So it's X, and then what's the one of in the
So,
30s, 40s,
baby bloomers, and then
so
the silent generation before them.
Vietnam is between those times. So those were the eras and generations where it was so easy to condition your mindset. It was, bro, go get a job, work at that job long, retire, and let that retirement take care of you. You're in the military doing all the time. Vietnam, now you have put in a lot of time where you are set pretty good now to where you're going to get a check with almost 100% disability. If you're not, you're still fighting for that. But you are now in a guy that spent a lot of time in the military, and because you went and did what you did for your country, for your family, doing that as a man provider, you did that. But when you have people in those age ranges, they didn't realize how how diabolical it was to go to the Democrat side. And
Mhm.
those are those generations are what's now y'all are preaching still oppression to the younger generation and
Mhm.
giving excuses and not saying, young blood, listen, you ain't going through nothing that we went through.
Exactly.
You are blessed, young blood. Bro, you don't know oppression. You don't know,
Exactly.
that. No, y'all are hampering this younger generation and pushing it. The older people like that keep saying, don't forget about your history. You keep pushing that because you
Yep.
are one of those ones that's stuck on history and not the future. Because
Mm.
you don't want to become erased, irrelevant. But y'all are so stuck on the past and history. Y'all have
Mhm.
pissed away a chance to help grow. What's
Oh man.
you have
Well,
pissed
you
away.
know, that's crazy, man. Because I had confronted one of my uncles. Well, I won't say I confronted him, but I was having a little, friendly conversation with him, and I had asked him. I said, "So, do you think Generation X should have a moral obligation to at least offer some sort of viable solutions to where we are today?" He got so he got so angry with me. Like he was like, "It's not our fault. We didn't do anything. Y'all are who y'all are. Y'all figure it out. It's not our fault." I'm like,
Problem.
yeah, I'm not specifically saying it's your fault, but we all play a role. We all have some contribute. We all have a contribution to this. And I'm saying, like, don't you think Generation X and even the generation before us have a moral obligation? If you are still have air in your lungs today, don't you think you have some moral obligation to try to rectify where we are in some way?
We were the generation millenniums was the test dummies, the lab rats. Put something in our face and let this be able to control them because everything had, when I tell you the government and white people that really oppressed back in the day, they were from the beginning of time, the Europeans. I have to give props where props is due. I've never met a culture, a race that has never broke stride for 400 plus years. No matter how the kids were, like, they don't, that is a generational curse or a generational strength that they will not break.
Mm,
It don't matter who you are, never met that white person a day in their life, but they will understand this is the status quo of where we have to go to keep the
mm,
power without being relinquished. That is our issue. We want, like, that generation, that's the problem with our black ones. Each generation did not help. Bro, white folk generation, they set them up.
mm,
That's why their generation never fell. For your uncle to tell you some shit like that, he don't even realize how granddaddy wasn't really, great granddaddy wasn't built like that.
right.
Like, they didn't want to take, but you got to keep in mind too, those were the crack era
Hmm.
also. So the streets, drugs, I'm talking about, that was sex, drugs, and violence back then.
Yep.
Like, you talking about James Brown being high on coke, sweating on the interview.
Hmm. But now
Like,
those people are all reformed and they in church now.
you talking about Marvin Gaye, bro. Like, then our
Marvin
mamas,
Gaye, man.
our mamas and aunties, and maybe our grand aunties grew up on Anita Baker. You know what I'm saying? Betty Wright. You know what I'm saying? Like, we then our parents, our mom and daddy, Boys to Men, Keith Sweat, R. Kelly. Like,
Man.
look what they came up with, and look what we stuck with. Other now we got Chris Brown, Trey Songz, we got Tory Lanez, we had R. Kelly, but look what we got, Young Boy. We got those type of rappers, but the ones before us came with KRS One. They came out with Uncle Luke. They had LL Cool J, Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? Biggie, Tupac. Look what we got. Look what we got. Like, it's hurtful. Look
Got
what we
mumble
have.
rappers now.
Look who we are raising ourselves We are the ones who started raising ourselves. And now we have had kids now, and we don't realize they're raising themselves. And it's gotten worse that they knew that we were going to
It's a
do that.
vicious cycle. Yep.
They knew we were going to do that. That's why they softened us up. And now they knew kids will take over. We will make adults afraid of kids because we will have kids so aggressive. Those adults either have to make a decision to help and discipline them, or be afraid that that young man or them young folks put them hands on you and basically almost kill you. So now the older folks like, well, I can't tell them kids nothing, but because the parents don't allow the kids to do whatever they want. So now you're afraid to say anything to any child. So we let the children run rampant.
Walter says, I taught and helped build the future and created a line of bright warriors. This is because to exist in this time, one must be strong. But even a warrior learns compassion. And as I stated earlier, the Bible outlines solutions to all this problem, in my humble opinion. I hear what you're saying, Walter. My only contention is that, like I said, for men in particular, we as human beings, we are emotional creatures. We are emotional beings. I totally understand that. But I think it redounds in a man's benefit to try to maintain his masculine frame at all times and maintain his composure, because we see the outcomes of a man who is emotionally unstable. I mean, we have prisons built solely off of that, and I think you're seeing more prisons being packed even today because men are aimless and don't have purpose, and they don't have that masculine frame because it goes back to having that father figure. Also, I think it's counterintuitive to constantly promulgate this notion that men should be emotional and express themselves as women express themselves. Now, there's nothing wrong with being compassionate. Absolutely, I'm being compassionate on the men who are being made into these soft soy boys by
soy boys.
Yeah, these soft soy boys, these beta men that women do not even respect. Women do not respect a man who does not stand rightfully in his leadership role. So it's so counterintuitive to constantly push this notion that men should be emoting as women do. You know, we're the same spiritually and as far as our humanity is concerned, but biologically, neurologically, psychologically, we are different creatures. We are just different. And yeah, I just that and you know, and another thing where the compassion lies at for me is that I think we need to have more compassion on women by just telling them they don't have to adopt this mentality, whereas they have to shoulder the burden all by themselves. I think that's a dangerous road to tread, because we see what's happening with women today. 3.2% of Black women today are being evicted because they can't afford their basic utilities and renting. So, and that, I just did a live on that article a couple weeks ago. So they're shouldering all this struggle all by themselves, and because they are basically not qualified to be anyone's wife, because they pretty much fortified themselves in this sort of masculine mentality that, you know, they can do it all by themselves. They're independent. They don't want to be codependent or interdependent. So yeah, I just think that's counterintuitive. So that's my opinion.
But even with that, like, you know, it's kind of, I don't want to, from what his first response was when he said like insults or, you know, don't come at the wrong person, that just kind of, it shows me on my responses of when you just let somebody go like that and keep making responses, because it hurts that we have never said anything that has put the woman into saying that she's down and out and she's just
Right.
you know, we haven't said anything like that, but not one time have you just expressed what Neil just said of they're building millions and millions of prisons, and that's where these men are, that they're going because these women have to do that now because they are building the prisons and we're in them. So your responses should be of how can we stop our men from being in that predicament where you're speaking about what the woman has, but then what is stopping her from? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like, yes, you want to uplift them. I see where you're going at. You want to uplift the woman, but I don't. Your response is just like we're downing them,
Right.
because you're combating us like we're downing them. We have given you everything that you have said. We understand that, but you have not yet have even not one time said anything about, when you said that it's about men and emotion. You have not said anything about a man yet. You're talking about, you're speaking on the topic. You have not said anything about a man yet. You have defended on all your comments. So, but then you would say that would take the response of me saying that you're soft. I did not. I keep saying the responses of, bro, the reason for this panel is holding men accountable. But damn, like, you're bringing now of some more of saying that women don't have. They have most of the power now, brother.
Ooh, tell them.
Realizing that they control the cause on everything, dog. Bro, so what are you talking about? If we don't have a relationship with them, or they become one with us, they still have every opportunity that the government is going to help them. As long as they type in, I am a woman, maybe I'm black, and I got kids. Do the man stay there with you? Hell nah. Oh, bet. How much do you need? A black man can't do that. How many times?
I'm not your weak father.
So as a Vietnam vet, I'm pretty sure as you started out, it was very hard for your benefits to kick in. Maybe not, but I've seen a lot of soldiers come in that their benefits. I see Vietnam vets that stand on the side of the road and saying, oh, thank you for, I was in the army, but I'm homeless. There's no reason some people like that, that have that they trained in y'all mind back then that you are going to serve your country, give your life, and you were one of the few that made it out and survived. You didn't die. So you to go through all that mental PTSD, now you to be on this edge, and your mind would never be the same, that you would come back to your country that still was like, hey, well, we may get to y'all later. Like, I mean, thank you for your service. We wanted to just take care of you while you were doing what you do. Now, when you come back, it's on your own. You can keep staying in, and we're gonna take care of you. But
he going off on you, man. It's like, I'm he ain't going on. He said, then you did not see what I showed, what men should be. I even deferred to the night's code, but I shall defer to your wisdom.
And again, I'm not. I'm. Let's talk about it, bro. Like, let's just talk about it, because again, you
should come on, Walter. You should come on. If I drop the link, you gonna jump on?
Talk about it. Like, I just, it's hard.
It's a men's panel here.
Text messaging and comments are very hard for people to get their point across, because you're gonna misconstrue it. So both of our responses may be, and again, I'm reading it not in your voice because I don't know how your voice is, but when I'm listening to what we're saying, I'm listening to what Neil's saying, and I'm still hearing myself of what I'm saying, and your responses are just like, again, you say that you commented one about the night's code, but you commented like 6 times.
Yeah.
And it's all about what we need to, we need to lead and change how we lead our women.
Hold up. Oh Lord, I can't listen to y'all. I'm gonna pray for these minds. I'm confused. One person talking about women getting evicted, one person talking about men in prison and blaming women that men go to prison. No, that's whoa, Virginia. Just this comment has me confused. So I don't know.
We're trying to circle back on. We're answering the comments of everybody keep asking where we're going, and it's like,
you might have just jumped in, Virginia. I'm sorry. You know,
she's been
here for a while. Yeah, I mean, we've kind of like touched base on a lot of things. Everything is consistent to what our focal point is. As far as women being evicted, it's again, it's along the lines of the government pushing this narrative to women that they should be independent of their men, that women should shoulder the weight of the world by themselves. And the thing about it is this, with more of our women adopting this mentality, it's disenfranchising our men, and our men are left aimless and purposeless. They don't really have a reason, a means, viable means for in society, which is supposed to be family. So these men are finding other ways to, sublimate their time. And there are a segment of men who don't have viable ways of expressing themselves, and these men get very emotional and end up in bad predicaments, I'll say.
But this is the thing too, even with her and him, like I don't think they realized at the beginning of this live, I spent the most majority of time of pinpointing a man's insecurities and what he has to change. I sat there on and made men have to take accountability, because a couple of them, one woman just came and said, "Thank you for your honesty." So again, when we have been talking strictly about men from the beginning, but then you come in and say, well, women did this, they got this. Okay, but the topic is men being emotional and problem solving. Like, we're not down in the women, but we are giving the problem from the woman to solve it. But why do we have to be overly emotional and not notice that we're not getting the emotion that you want because you want it overly? But can you notice I just solved your problem? Or if you be quiet a little bit and kind of let me do what I'm doing, I'm actually in motion with handling the problem. We can't sit here all day and just keep talking about what the problem is. At some point in time, if the man does not get up and move his feet to start to solve the problem,
Actions,
and soak back and forth with that woman all night, and she knows she's talking our head off about it, but she's still not logic enough, because she's in her emotional rage, that she has not clicked to be like, hey, wait, hold on. Stop letting me sit here and distract you real quick. Hey, go handle that problem. Like, but she would have us there back and forth, just sitting there going back and forth talking about it. And then when the problem don't get solved in the outside,
there you go.
They'd be like, she'll sell you out sometimes and say, yeah, because nigga, when we had a problem, you ain't even. I had to figure out a way.
So hence the overarching theme of tonight's discussion: men solve props. Excuse me, men express their emotions through problem solving. Walter, I hope that all of this was received with love. You know what I'm saying? I hope we good. You know what I'm saying? No bad blood, nothing like that. We just, we're just trying to work it out together. You know what I mean? Anyways, my man JP, I think we didn't pretty much hit the hammer on the nail with this discussion, man. I really appreciate you coming on, man. Any final thoughts? Let me make sure I drop your thing. Hey, tell me your podcast again.
FWM podcast.
Underscore, right? Podcast.
That's on Instagram. FWM_podcast on Instagram, and I think it's FWM_podcast on TikTok too.
WM.
I'm just starting the TikTok thing, so
man. Good luck with that. I mean, but you know what?
It's been going well though. I ain't realized it's been going well, but I got to get my numbers up on my followers. Like they'll view the shit out of my stuff, but it's like they just looking. So I'm still starting off on it. So yeah, come let me get your view then. If I can't get the like, if I can't get the dialogue and the comment,
talk to them.
Let me be your friend and follow me and just watch it. Like I'm cool with people just watching it. And
talk to them.
Things that we're doing right now, I'm always talking like that on TikTok and Instagram.
Yes, sir.
Liking it, commenting it can make it join the algorithm, but hey, you're used to this community now, just watching it. So I'm cool with that now. Like, just listen, let it marinate in you, and it can be something that helped you that day. That's something that you probably needed to hear that day. And I'm cool with just dropping gems and people hearing it. And you don't have to give me the credit for it, but as long as it changes your mood, changes your day, I did what my purpose is. Like you asked at the beginning, my purpose as a man is to help and grow these men, and we grow together. Like,
Yeah,
because
man.
you look at me and I look at you, I should be able to trust that, bro. We not against each other, we with each other, but at the end of the day, we're gonna uplift each other also. But and I hope I hope we continue to do these things that people want to come and
Yeah.
actually jump on with us. Like, I hope you drop that invitation.
Yeah, man. We opening up the discussion for any man that want to join. Look, we're not saying we know everything. I certainly don't know everything. I'm a C student. So anybody want to jump on here, you guys want to add any input, just let me know. Anytime we have these panels, we're gonna try to get more people. But again, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. So if you guys are bold enough to stand on your square, join the conversation, you are welcome. Absolutely, by all means. All right, man. I appreciate you again, man. This was a really great, fruitful conversation. I think we covered a lot of ground. Absolutely. Everybody that stuck in with us, yo. We really appreciate y'all. Make sure you are subscribed. Go check out my man's podcast.
Apple Podcast.
It's dope. He's the truth. He's a straight shooter. And listen, I put my stamp on it. So definitely go check him out.
Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. There you go.
Apple Podcasts and Spotify, FWN Podcast. It says it's a triangle and say the rabbit hole. So that's
yes, sir.
When you come and listen to me, we taking you deep in the rabbit hole. So get ready.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate your listeners. I appreciate you. And I brought a couple folks over, man. And
yes, you did. I appreciate that.
Coming, man. And I hope they continue to follow you and subscribe, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to Neil. And he's a straight shooter just like me. I want my listeners to follow you. And I want and if your listeners, they like what they hear, or they want to, hey, maybe this wasn't the best representation. Maybe
they better like what they heard. Otherwise, we're gonna have some beef.
Go listen to some other things. My other topics and my other episodes may be to your liking, but go find something.
Yeah, I might have to do a broadcast on one of your. I might have to do a whole entire stream on one of your shows, man.
I got a nice catalog. So guys,
yeah, I'm gonna have to go sit through that real quick.
I promise you, as many as you got, if you binge listen, I promise you, it's gonna be something that you like. I definitely don't put.
Yeah, I told you, my girl was checking it out. She was like, "All right, who is this?" All right, I'm like, "Hold up, back up. What you doing?"
Hey, man, that's why I stay audio, man. So they can't. So they nobody can see my face. Nobody can see my face.
Right. But hey, man, it was dope, man. Guys, again, thank y'all all for listening. I really appreciate it. Go check out JP's podcast. I'll put the links inside the comment section. Subscribe, hit the like button, share this video out. I like where my likes is at right now. I really appreciate that, guys. Go subscribe to the YouTube, The Real Unwoke, guys. And you already know how we close out. We are speaking truth and reality, and I promise you, no matter how long it takes, we will reinstitute morality. Hold up, dang, see, it's supposed to be my catchphrase, and I ain't even got my stuff set up. Give me a second. Yeah, peace, y'all.
And you ain't black.